Greetings, friends. Your cartoonist pal Stan here with one more, not at Gen Con, not associated with Gen Con live stream. In case you missed it, Wednesday night had an interview with Jeff Grubb on 50 Years in the Dungeon, where I did a cartoon homage to the program art, the art for the program book for this year's Gen Con program book. And then I had a Gen Con themed random encounters episode on Thursday. And yesterday had a nice long convo on the couch with ONKC Stevens and Dustin Knight. And today we're having a Gen Con seminar with Jeff Quick.
Hey, everybody.
Welcome to the show.
Oh, hello. I didn't see you there.
God, yeah, God, I hate the computer games or the. Well, I didn't see you there. Come in, and I will explain what's going on.
Right. Artifice on top of artifice.
Surely you know how to do this. You don't? Well, let's try it now. How are you doing, Jeff Quick?
I'm good.
I almost
I'm doing
said Grubb.
well.
I don't know why. You don't look like him.
I,
So many Jeffs
I,
in my life.
I was for a second. I was going to try to do my Jeff Grubb impersonation, but I could already tell it was going to sound like a crappy Jay Leno. Forget it. I'm not doing it.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure that Jeff wouldn't be proud to be called a crappy Jay Leno. He might. He might.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think that's his Reddit handle.
Hey, look what Michael says in chat. Hello, Mr. Quick, with the best trimmed goatee in all the realms. Michael, you don't know how well that plays into our pre-show conversation.
That's a little creepy, Michael in chat. Welcome.
You know what? I like Michael in chat, but he is a little creepy.
I like creepy. Let's do it.
The best trimmed goatee in all the realms. Now you need a T-shirt that says
that. Yeah. We were.
And
in fact, I was lamenting that it wasn't better trimmed. Like Michael, I can do better. I've got a better goatee, but I was a little sloppy on a Saturday. Next time, man. Next time I'll make sure I've got it trimmed up nice for you.
It's looking sharp, man. I think that Michael's right. It is the best trimmed goatee in all the realms. And okay, sure, you could take it up a notch from there. But hey, man, it's a Saturday. Just
you know what? Maybe it's best that I save. I'm going to save my A game for when I really need to pull it out.
Right, it's Michael's creepy Michelin star. So in the chat last night, yesterday, Dustin who's the lead, one of the designers on Starfinder, had gotten permission to do a giveaway, and he gave away. We did a random roll off for it, and Michael won. Congratulations again, Michael.
Nice work.
Dustin was looking quickly at what it said, and he said, Michelin chat wins. So he decided that Michael has now gotten a Michelin star.
Michelin chat. Interestingly enough, that's his Reddit profile, Michelin chat. Gosh, I should do a giveaway. Hey, why can't I do a giveaway?
I don't know. Well, first of all, you probably want to wait a bit because
Michael's
otherwise, just like, I should give Michael something, which is not a bad thing to do. I'm not against that, but we waited till in the second half of the stream to do it.
Yeah.
But if you can, hey, there are people who are tuning in. Jeff might have something to give away.
I do. You know what? I've decided. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do a giveaway.
All right. Snappy. So for those of you who don't know, Jeff is a senior editor
That's right. I'm senior
senior
editor.
editor at Kobold Press.
I've worked my way up from
You're
non-employee to senior editor.
bingo.
Michael, you've ordered the game. You know, that's what I was thinking about giving away was a copy of Necromancer. Maybe I don't have any, but I'll get one. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't have one. I'm hoping that we can get. So they've got the demo, the bonus card they're giving away. Hopefully, they saved
Yeah,
a few extras for the of those for us too.
I assure you they did. They they did that thing where they ordered like 90 million of them. So, uh, you know, the dude out in the front hall who just makes crap out of cards,
Right.
he's gonna have a few, I'm sure, in his stash. Uh, Pardon me a moment. There's a large dog trying to break into the room,
Oh
and
dear.
I should do that before she just bashes down the door. Hang on.
You got it, Michael. When neither Jeff, well, Jeff would be better placed to answer that than I, but he's not well placed because neither of us are involved in the shipping. But I imagine that since they are at Gen Con, they are either at or arriving at their warehouse, so shipping will probably happen pretty soon.
Yeah. Let's see. What misinformation can I give you? I want to say that it's because I read about this somewhere in our Slack. Uh, I think that Necromancer is shipping right after Gen Con. Um,
Right. There you go.
so quote me on that, and then when I'm wrong, I can be
I know the
embarrassed and say,
website says shipping still doesn't say ship. You know, not it will ship soon, right? So
yeah.
it's not gone out unless it's been a secret shipping. Secret shipping.
You know, I wish that seems appropriate to do secret shipping. Let's see.
um, you know what? It's been pretty cool for me to see the photos of people playing the demo and the tablecloth with with my little goblin guy on the side.
Where are you seeing that? I want to see that. Is that on the website?
Yeah, well, it's on the Facebook. The Kobo
Oh,
Facebook posted
that's
it.
why I fear and revile Facebook. That's why I have not seen it. Yeah. Okay.
Did anyone stop? I'm sure someone stopped by, but we're not in Gen Con. And Margaret posted this morning they sold all 700 copies of the uh, omnibus that they had in. So good for them.
Nice.
I know that although Tracy Hickman was not able to make it to Gen Con this year, he spent a lot of time signing book plates. So people that bought the book at Gen Con were able to get signed copies. Which, you know, way to go.
Nice.
Yeah, so Necromancer about to hit the streets. How does that feel?
It feels exciting. I've had my name on a bunch of products in my life, and you know, people talk about they're like, "Oh, I'm holding a thing with my name on the cover. That's so exciting." I've never felt that way. Uh, I always feel like, well, yeah, oh yeah, that thing. I worked on it, and I'm
Huh.
not happy with it. And
Well, there's see, I'm usually happy with what I did. So
yeah, yeah, no, but this one, I mean, I still look at it and go, "Oh, I could have done better," but I'm pretty happy with it. Um, and I'm excited. I'm excited to push it right to be.
right.
Whereas in the past when I've done things, I'm like, yeah, that exists. I guess if you ask me questions, I'll try not to run it
Wow.
down and point
That's
out all my shortcomings in front of you.
wow. We need to. I don't know. We got to get you to
Yeah,
a creative
yeah,
psychologist, like a creator's psychologist. It's
I do.
because I
I've
on the
never.
one hand, I totally get what you're saying when um something like comes out, I look at it and I go, well, I could have done better. I understand that. All right, hold on. If I disconnect you, call back because I'm now shipped.
Okay.
Yesterday I had problems when I shifted away from my streaming software and then came back, it kicked
Okay.
everyone out for
I'm
some
gonna say
unknown.
hi to John before I basically disappear. I mean, if I disappear. Hi,
All right,
John. Hey, good to see you, man. Okay,
all right, here we go.
ready to go.
All right, it worked. You're still here.
Oh, I was trying to get a good face in case I froze.
Yeah, yesterday, Dustin froze like this.
Yeah,
Not with
yeah.
the face.
No, never. Or with your eyes closed. That's the worst.
Yeah,
Like with your mouth open and your eyes closed. Those are always my
yeah.
best pictures.
So yeah, so here we got the game.
Hey, look at that.
It's so nice.
I mean, what I like about it is that I set out to make a certain kind of game, and that game showed up.
Right.
Like I wanted to make a sort of a little bit of a throwback game, like sort of like, not Munchkin, but in that vein of sort of a take that game with kind of this 90s feel. Like our developer was like, there's a lot, like he very rightly, very reasonably was like, there are some more modern mechanics you could put in this. And I was like, yeah, but I didn't.
There's some more. All right. I mean, I
And ultimately, he wound up talking me into to putting at least one in the whole like bones uh, economy in it, right?
right,
Basically, you have a little uh, summoning cost that you have to make sure that you've got enough of, and then you can use it to pay for whatever you're doing.
right,
And it's not complicated, but uh, before he got his hands on it, I was just like, just throw it out of your hand. Like I was trying to make it really simple, really fast, and it's not like it's not simple and fast, but he uh, uh, he added a good complication,
right,
but I was just like, nah, just like my first draft of the game was just play anything from your hand that you want, just put it all out, whatever, who cares, just go, because
right.
I was just trying to make it um, as direct and simple as possible, and I was like, could I possibly do without a, a cost for cards at all, or could the cost just be uh, you know, you can play two cards, whatever they are, or whatever. Um, and some of the spirit of that was retained, but now there's whenever you want to put out an undead creature, basically when your minions or your undead get destroyed, they go into your bones pile, and then you can use that to summon undead, right? You've got a little
Right.
personal graveyard of parts. And that's a nice thing. Like Will, that was a good addition from Will. Um, but originally I was like, just just fast. Let's just go fast. Uh, the problem with just go fast is that you don't have a lot of knobs to twist uh, to make things more or less expensive or more or less interesting.
Right.
Uh, and so you better make sure that every card is roughly equal. Um, you just kind of gotta make sure that you're. Um, I know balance is a dirty word, but that your balance is really really deeply baked in. Um, and it was probably a good move to just add a cost to some things and give the design some more room to breathe. Um,
Yeah. It's so that I have a couple of thoughts on this. Kind of in a general sense, uh, I get that impulse. Right. I when I think about doing games, I just want something that you can play super fast, and
hmm
you get out and you play it, and that's that makes for a fun game. But it takes away from it being a game people will play over and over,
Yep.
and
Yep.
then that will limit your sales.
Right. Right.
Um, on the other hand, the comparison that I'm making in my head is for a game I've told you about that I've done for a private client that hasn't been published yet. Um,
Hmm.
that I also like. A lot of what you're saying resonates with me because I know I could have done a better job. I could have spent more time really tightening the screws, but it has the advantage for me in that the audience is not a gamer audience. So
Yeah.
tightening the screws a lot actually is not a good choice for that.
Right. Right.
Um,
Yeah. You don't really need or even want subtlety to emerge from your design because no one's gonna
right.
your audience isn't gonna be paying that close of attention. Um, you know, they just
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
Um, but yeah, but I look at it. And we're at the point now. Hopefully, knock on wood, where I'm going to have printer ready files in the next week uh,
Fantastic.
that I can send to my client and say, "Look, I'm sorry, it's not here. It's done now." But yeah, but I look at it, and there are times when it was a concern of mine at the start that I might make it too simple. Um, I got
Yeah.
good feedback from the gamers who play tested it that told me that I seem to have hit somewhere, if not in the sweet spot, near the sweet spot,
Okay.
and that it's simple, but it's still fun, and the gamers wanted to play it again. So I'm like, all right, let's
Hmm.
stop
Nice.
messing with
Good.
it.
Last year, I'm gonna wind
Oh,
my way back
sorry,
around
John
to games.
Lighthouser. Hi, John. That's the John you were talking to. I didn't see that before. Hi,
Yeah,
John.
man. Um, uh, this is gonna wind up back at games, but it's gonna take a little trip first. Uh, I um, I took a class, like a civics class, about the city that I live in. I live in a small municipality just outside of Austin, and uh, and they're pretty on the ball as a small city. And one of the things that they do, if you're sort of an interested citizen, is that you can sign up for uh, a weekly class, an 8 week weekly class about here's what the city does, here's how we run, here's who we are, and here's the important parts. And in two separate sessions, uh, and they were put in good places, like they were put in finance, which was extraordinarily boring otherwise. Um, they included games for us to play and sort of get a sense of the choices that you have to make whenever you are um, whenever you're trying to balance a budget and figure out how to run a small city. Uh, and the games were uh, in a hobby sense they were bad. They were rolling right, and there was too much randomness, and uh, it was hard to win, right? Uh, but as I played that, and I put on my my critical hat, I took it back off because I was like, oh no, this game is doing exactly what it needs to do, um,
Right.
which is it's telling me how like the decisions that I have to make if I'm trying to run a city budget, and um, and it's fine. Like it's really like
Right.
uh, and if they had created some sort of Agricola level management thing, uh, yeah, yeah, 3/4 of the room would have been like, what? I have to.
And the people that got it would walk away with the idea that, oh, you can win the government game. You could just make the right moves and win. That's all you have to do is make the right moves. And like you're saying, the
Right,
point is to teach them, to
right.
teach the people taking it. These are things you have to deal with. And guess what? It's
You don't know when they're coming,
yeah,
and it might crash you, right? Like so at the beginning of the game, I had to put like money in different areas, and there were more areas than I had money.
Right.
And then stuff would happen, right? And if you happened to have funded something that where the need came up, then you got a victory point, basically, right? And if you didn't, then you lost a victory point, and you had to move funding over to it from
Right.
somewhere else. And you had no idea what was coming up. And at the beginning of the game, you were just sort of like based on your values, you just kind of funded things and then hoped. And you know,
Yeah.
kind of kind of sounds like how funding a city works.
The other thought I had when you're describing this is if for gamifying it for a more general audience, for not teaching a lesson, is you could turn it into a game where you're just trying to hold on as long, like if you just change how you explain it, you're not trying to win. You're trying to
Yeah,
hold on longer than anyone else. You're trying to,
right.
because
Or
you're gonna die. It's gonna fall apart. It just will.
it's your job to get to the end of the fiscal year,
Right.
right, without falling apart, right? And so lots of people can win, but you need to make it, to the next budget year.
Right. Then whoever gets elected, it's their problem. They've got
Right,
to play the
right.
next
Then
game.
the new finance person can solve that problem.
Here's your hand, buddy. Good luck. Yeah, Michael says trying to lose last. Which is a very real game design, right? You
I was actually just thinking, I was like, but where it usually winds up in game design is not trying to lose last, but trying not to be the first to lose,
right,
because then you don't have to deal with player elimination.
right.
Uh,
I mean, if that you really need to be a fast game if you're trying to lose last, then you
yeah,
can.
yeah.
You don't want there to be long periods where the people who lost first and second are just sitting and waiting with nothing to do.
We were talking about James Ernest games before we went live, and that reminds me of Falling, which is a
Mm-hmm.
very fast game where you were trying to be the last to lose. Um, and I adore that game. And every time I pull it out and show it to people, they're like, "This is confusing and terrible. I hate it." And um, so I don't get to play it very often,
Mm.
but I think it's absolutely wonderful.
Kobayashi Maru, the board game.
Why has no one made that? Has anyone made that? Internet, talk to me.
So they made for when Star Trek Two came out. FASA did a couple of. There's a small uh, box Starship Fighter box set of um, Enterprise versus the Klingons that came out. Um, it didn't do especially well. I think the thing, you know what, I'm of course, as you know, Jeff, I'm a big Trek fan. Uh, and I love and Star Trek Two, one of my all-time best movies, favorite movies of anything. Uh,
Hmm.
Kobayashi Maru is a great um, thing. The thing that makes it work is you not knowing that it's the Kobayashi Maru test, right? That
Yeah, yeah.
um, they did start one of the Star Trek novels uh, that came out in the mid '90s was just called Kobayashi Maru, and it had a bunch of the bridge personnel on a mission on a shuttlecraft, and everything was going wrong. And it looked like they had no hope, and they were all just huddling up with their their space emergency supplies on, hoping that the
Yeah.
Enterprise will find them. And someone laughs and says, "This reminds me of a test that I took at the academy." And someone else says, "Me too, with that stupid Kobayashi Maru." And someone else said, "Oh, I had that test." I mean, just that kind of setup really
Right.
implied, showed when it's valuable. When everyone knows about it, it loses its value um, as a test.
Right.
Uh, and then the book went on to have each. It was like uh, four. novelettes about how each one of the characters had done when they took the tests at the academy. And it's very interesting. If you're a Star Trek
Hmm.
fan, I recommend that. Seek it out.
I am a Star Trek fan, as it turns out.
Huh. I did
Who
not
could
know
have
that about
guessed?
you. Oh, yes, I did. Wait, hold on. So when you were putting Necromancer together, you're talking a little bit about what you know, that kind of trying to find that not uh, um, what's it, Steve Jackson game now that I keep forgetting because I don't want them to say it at the same time. Munchkin, not Munchkin,
Oh
but
yeah, yeah,
social play like and mess with your neighbor kind of game.
yeah.
What how did you go about? Well, I know that it came out of an idea from Wolfgang, but when you dove in, how did you tackle that challenge?
How to tackle a challenge? Um, so the I I don't know if there's a better way to make games. But the way that I make games
Hmm?
is that I just make up a lot of stuff and then uh, see how it all fits together, right? And just start chopping out things that don't work anymore. And so I uh, I had sort of an intent that there would be um, some card removal and uh, I just sort of had goals, I guess. Pretty early on, I decided that each kind of undead was gonna have a mechanical niche, um, and I tried to design toward that. Um, yeah, I'm not sure I know how to answer your question because I just started making stuff up
Right.
and winnowing as I went along. And like as I discovered that things were fun, I tried to amplify them, and as I discovered things that weren't fun, I tried to cut them out. And I think that it was. I mean, I certainly did some math and made sure that the numbers, were, there's a certain amount of this and a certain amount of this, and the cards don't swing too heavily in one direction. Um, but for the most part, I think the design did not involve uh, heavy use of spreadsheet formulas. It involved me, which I've done before, right? But in this case, I just kind of I let my sense of fun do the driving,
Mm-hmm.
um, uh, and um, and just sort of followed that through the maze, um, which I think is kind of my favorite way to do it anyway, is to just I try to make myself a design document at the beginning, and I try as much as I can to create something that will help me remember the feeling that I want to feel when I'm playing. Because when you get hip deep in game design, you're not really feeling feelings at that point. Like you're being analytical,
Yeah.
um, and and sometimes the feeling that you're feeling is I don't want to do this anymore, right? And so I always try to um, write down the words that help me remember the feeling that I want to feel and that I want the player to feel. And if there's music, I try to make sure that I, write down the name of the songs or the movies that I'm trying to emulate or whatever. Um, so that whenever I'm 3 months in and it's not really fun anymore, I can go back and
Play
find those
Mbop
feelings
again.
again.
Play Mbop, and I'm ready to design.
I mean, I don't think that's anything that other creators don't do,
Right.
but what I've learned is to be intentional about it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because it's real easy for me to get into a game design and forget why I was doing it. And if I don't record it, if I don't try to capture it first, then I I'm just sort of looking at numbers and thinking about, card abilities, and it just doesn't seem special anymore. It just
Right.
seems like I'm making, you know, every card game all over again.
I find when I'm getting uh, into it, I have a tendency very similar to what you had said to kind of start looking and solving problems and not remembering to step back and look at what how it's going and like solving a problem and then noticing, oh, but that has this other thing, so I'll attach this to do it. And then when I finally do step back, I'm like, where's the fun? I just designed the
Yeah,
fun out of the game. I
yeah,
solved all these problems. I for sure did, but each one chipped off a little piece of my fun token, and there's
yeah.
no fun token left.
I I co-designed a game that never went anywhere a long time ago. I uh, what was the name of that comic strip? Um, it was this really weird web comic that got real big. Andrew Hussey. What was Andrew Hussey's web comic? Crap! Now I got to
I
look
don't
it
know.
up. He started doing MS Paint adventures, but it turned into Homestuck. Homestuck is what it was.
Okay.
So there was a period where he wanted a Homestuck card game, kind of based on the cosmology that he had built up through the comic strip, and uh, Jason Tagmeyer, who owns Button Shy Games, and I worked on it together. Um, these are good questions going on in chat. Let me get back to that. Um, yes, Homestuck. Yes.
Hi, Agile
And so,
Monk. I would just want to say your name out loud.
yeah, good. Yes.
Welcome to the chat.
Let's yes. Uh, uh, we should all go around the room and say each other's names out loud. So no, no, no. Let me get back to my story. Yes, yes, yes. Andrew Hussey, Homestuck. We'll say his name out loud again too. So Jason and I worked on this game together, and it was kind of coming along. Um, and then I dropped out of the project, and Nicole Klein stepped in. And Nicole Klein has some other game design credits,
Mm,
and has plenty of good ideas. And as she told me later, she was like, "I just pulled a bunch of stuff out. We just called it de-jeffing it." And um, uh, and she was like, "I'm so sorry." And I'm like, "No, no. What I didn't stick around long enough to do is do my own de-jeffing. Like I I like I think probably as you get more experience, you have to do this less. But what I tend to do is I overcomplicate and then I pull back, and
right.
then I overcomplicate and then I pull back, and somewhere in that process, you find out where the game is. But uh, I don't know. I feel like that's just kind of how game design works, right? Is you try to solve a problem, and then you wind up, you know, overcomplicating, and
Right.
so you cut things out, and then you solve another problem, and you wind up overcomplicating again, and you cut things out, and in that process, you find out what the game is. Um,
Yeah. That's
but
certainly,
ga-
like you say, that's not the only way to do it, but that's, even if it's not how you focus, that's built into lots of the other, almost every way to do it.
yeah. Well, I feel like as you get more experienced, and I'm a little more experienced than I used to be, you just don't have to spend so much time on the back and forth. Um,
Well,
right. He's talking
you
about
get to
removing
more
everything that's not
quickly
an elephant. Like,
realize, oh, this is going to have to go.
yeah,
You see it
yeah.
coming down the road.
But you don't often, I think, know what the game is at the outset. Like you sort of have an intent. And like I say, I have a feeling that I want to make sure that the player feels. And one of the things that I find sort of baffling about game design is that I don't have a system at all for getting to the end. Every time it's a blank map, and and here I go, right? I feel like whenever I want to write fiction, I have a sense of how that's supposed to go. And I mean, there are certainly surprises along the way, right? But we have a pretty tried and true model of first act, second act, third act, climax. Yeah, we know how these things go.
Right.
And in game design, it's like, well, I don't know. I guess let me. What if I added a Super Bowl? Would that help? I
Yeah,
have yet
but
to find a game where adding a Super Bowl really helps, but I hope to find one.
Jax
Is that a Super Bowl?
could be.
I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I need to make a Jax-based game. Yes, Nicole Klein from Kobold Cardboard Fortress. Yes. She also works for Kickstarter, interestingly enough. Um, um, uh, but anyway, somebody had a comment or a question a ways back. Agile Monk said, "I was told in my younger years that as a designer you weren't supposed to have feelings. You would kill your baby, and you should definitely kill your babies, but um,
But
um,
part of that process is having a feeling. I mean, the
yeah,
problem is not to get married, not to have the feeling about the micro part. Right? You have the feeling about the game, the macro part.
yeah. I don't think you're. Oh, am I going to say this thing? Sure, I'll say it, and
Say it.
maybe I'll just
Say it.
recant later. I don't think you're doing it right if you don't understand how you want your audience to feel, to take it. You you are you're aiming for something, and if you don't know what you're aiming for, then I mean you can do it, um, but when you're done, you might not have made the thing you wanted to make, or even worse, you might have made something that you can't sell. And uh, um, you know, I don't think that there's a a panoply of emotions that people need to have, right? It's not like let's play a game where we're sad. That's not really what I'm headed for. Um, but you might be excited, or you might be relaxed, or you might be
Thoughtful. You might be
thoughtful. Yeah, right. Um, uh, there's a game. Actually, Stan, I think I showed you this game. I made it a few years ago, and I've never really quite known what to do with it. But the emotion that I was sort of going for was bleak, and uh, and I think I hit it, but I think you rightly pointed out that it really wasn't that fun, and so um, uh, I made this bleak game about space travel that seems like the kind of thing that somebody on itch will will put out there, and then eventually it'll wind up in a bundle
a
somewhere,
collection
and
of other bleak games.
yeah.
Well, I
Well,
mean, kind of,
I
kind of.
playtested that game with some of my friends, and they turned it into a party game. And I was like, "This isn't bleak at all. What are you doing? You're enjoying it."
You're ruining my bleak game. Suffer, suffer.
Like that
Um,
playtest confused me more than anything because I was like, "What? Did I accidentally make a party game? What? Should this
well,
be
I
fun
mean,
after all?"
kind of like we were talking about a little earlier with the making a game that if the point is to be the last to lose, as long as you explain it that way, people will enjoy it. If they think they're trying to win, like it's a lot about how you couch the game, and that is part
Yeah,
tone in the rules and part art that you choose,
yeah,
and and a lot marketing, right? Just so people come in with the expectation you want them to have. You
yeah.
you market the bleak game as a game of suffering and woe.
Of
All right,
somber choices.
yeah,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
audience that wants it will want that. And
Yeah.
if you say that, someone who wants a habit game isn't going to wander into your game and go, "What's going on?"
maybe I,
See,
maybe I should pull my Bleak Colonist game back out then and dust it off.
uh, Michael said, "Got a set of blank cards, scribbling ideas in them. Do you do something like that to get the
Yes,
physicality of it?"
I do.
I,
What
I,
I tend Go ahead.
you go. I would say I do something like that, but buying blank cards, like Wizards, they had shelves, boxes full of blank cards, um, which is something I can't really afford to do for everything. So what I did was get a couple of decks of regular playing cards and put them in sleeves,
Yeah.
and then print out the card I'm testing and slip it in the sleeves and make whatever decks I need, and then it only costs me whatever. And usually I actually even start with handwritten ones. I'll just draw it, write it out, and slip them in, and then I'm at that. That's the point where I'm just moving stuff around to see if it works, and then when I want to play it with people, I'll print out these little things and put them in the card decks. But
I used to be in charge of the Thunderstone line for AEG, and my job involved playtesting almost constantly because we were putting out another set of cards like 3 times a year, and there was just a real mill of card design and card production, and um, that burned me out of of printing uh, on pieces of paper and then cutting them all out and then putting them in sleeves. It was just exhausting. And so what I have wound up doing, I wound up doing two different things. One, if all I'm doing is playtesting and I know that this is kind of a short-term thing, I will print it onto just straight cardstock. Um, and then because these cards don't have to live a long time,
right,
and so I can just, you know, I don't 80 grams per square. I don't remember what the measurement, the weight of the paper is, but um, it's not, it's not your blue core card, but it's enough to stand up to a dozen play tests, and that's really all you need it to do. And then I don't have to do any sleeving. If I'm gonna send it to somebody, what I will do is I will get Avery stickers,
mm,
um, and I will print it onto like, they have like 2x3 rectangle sticker sheets, and I will print it onto that, and then I will slap it onto just a regular deck of cards. Um,
which
I'll
is
just buy
also
a deck
that's
of
what
cards for $1 and put it on there.
yeah that's what the Magic team does a lot or did. They used it. They had handwritten for the very start of the set design, and then they did a lot of stickers on. So you could find test cards around it that had sticker on top of sticker on top of sticker.
Yeah. It's kind of expensive. I mean, it's okay. It's okay for my purposes, but it's kind
Right.
of expensive to buy those Avery labels, and so I only do it whenever I'm trying to like send a prototype to somebody and say, you know, please take this seriously.
I will use the Avery form and print them out as in a PDF, and then
Hmm.
tell them just print it on laser paper and do the cutout and sleeve it thing, or
When
cut
I
or print it on cardstock like you say and cut it out.
when we were playtesting, so eventually for Necromancer, we managed to get it onto Roll 20. Roll 20 was our
Yeah.
playtest uh, platform. But before that, I just sent PDFs to the company and was like, "Okay, people, you say you want to playtest. Here's your chance." Um, um, and some did, and some didn't, and that's the way of playtesting. Um,
I was looking at that um, at the Roll 20 stuff because I got invited. You guys invited me to come in. I never really made it to any of the main ones, but I did get to look at what you had there, and I was super impressed with that. And it's like I need to get uh, enough understanding of how to put that together to be able to use that function because it was great.
it's really pretty easy, actually. Roll 20 is perfectly fine. But there are better VTTs out there.
Yeah.
But one thing you can do with it is you can upload custom card faces, and as long as you've got JPEGs of what you want to go on those cards, it can be anything. And so, uh, yeah,
Thankfully, you had some cool art for that game.
yeah. Luckily, there's this guy I know who made them look great. Oh, hooray! HeroClix, yes, yes, yes. You're
All right,
welcome. I'm
I'm
glad
gonna.
glad to have helped brought HeroClix to the world.
I've fallen behind in the chat. Let's see. Michael earlier said something my industrial design friends taught me. You know when you're done when there's nothing left to take away. That's not always the case,
Yeah, it's a
but
great
yeah,
sentiment. I know I'm
yes,
done whenever the publisher says gimme.
right. you know when you're done with deadline days, remove everything that's not an elephant.
Right. In an ideal world, that's exactly what you do. Uh, However, sometimes you don't know what an elephant looks like,
Right?
right? It's not so much that you remove everything that doesn't look like an elephant. It's remove everything that doesn't look like uh, an olephant, right? You're like, I know the rough shape of that, but does that have four tusks or two? And how big is it? And then you hope
And
to solve that before
there's a
before the
lot of
deadline
taking
comes.
things off and saying, "Oh no, it needed that," and putting them
It
back
needed
on.
that.
It needed those ears, those big ears. They look really dumb, but it turns out he needs them. Um,
Yeah,
Agile Monk says he's followed you throughout your career and your efforts at Kobold Press. So, Jeff,
fantastic.
you have
Wow.
a fan. I told you you had at least one.
I'm honored. And now I hope I can live up to your expectations.
Oh, and
Um,
Lala. Hey, Lala. I haven't seen you in a long time. Lala is a friend of mine from the Philippines who's
ah,
a crafter and a YouTuber and does all kinds of cool stuff. Thank you for tuning in, Lala. And if you get the game, she also has a game club. She hosts
cool.
game days and stuff like that. So yeah, if you do get the game and put it in there, I'd love to hear how folks folks enjoyed it. It's a fun game. I say
I'm gonna
it's
go.
not the person that designed it.
I'm gonna go get another drink.
All right.
I'll be. So Stan knows because I do this sometimes when we do stuff online together. Is that I walk away from the camera.
But
Um,
you're still here.
but I'm still here, and so my disconcerting voice will just appear.
It,
Um,
it's one of the wonders of hanging around with Jeff. Sometimes you can't see him, but he's still there.
I'm like the Lord in that way.
Michael says going headlong into bleak. I know I'm catching up here. Going headlong into bleak is what Alien and Morkborg seem to go for.
But Alien, I feel yes, I agree, and I saw when that sort of whizzed past before. But Alien still has sort of an action uh, element to it. You know, there are moments when you pick up your giant gun and
Right.
shoot aliens, and my Bleak game doesn't have that. You're all scientists, and you're on a colony ship, and you're just hurtling through space, and shit happens, and you try to survive. That's the game.
Yeah. Wee. Um, Agile Monk says that they are one of the Kobold Press Discord donation members.
God bless. God bless you and your
Salute.
good work.
Yes, he also said, as you mentioned before, thank you for HeroClix. Just so folks who don't know, why is he thanking you for HeroClix?
Well, I dropped a bunch off at his house. No, 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 no. I was the original designer developer. So Monty Cook sort of did the very first design pass on the original HeroClix that came out 20 some odd years ago. Um, And then I was working for WizKids at the time, and I was the developer of the game, and so I took all of Monty's original pass, and I was told, uh, whittle it down, make it smaller. We need all of this to fit into, you know, smaller, smaller, smaller. And I just, I just crammed things down, and I oversaw. I wrote the rules, and I was in charge of the game all the way through its launch. Um, and at the same time, uh, you know, uh, they were still making battle tech clicks then, and um, the original Mage Knight. Um,
Mm.
and so I had a little bit to do with those, but not too much. Um, I did some writing for BattleTech, which was fun, and um, uh, and so I didn't have a long tenure at WizKids. This was back when WizKids was not in its sort of current form, before Topps bought it. Um,
It was several iterations of WizKids ago.
it was, and John Lighthouser, who might or might not still be in the chat, uh, was the guy I think who took over right after I left, and did some wonderful things with the game. Like he took it in some great directions that it needed to go in.
Yeah.
Um, um, and um, but yeah, no, HeroClix was fun, and I still have the Origins Award that I won for that on my shelf, and uh, and I still have my original set. I got a complete set of all of the DC and Marvel HeroClix, and I'm looking at them now, and every time I look at them, I'm like, wow, you just take up space, don't you? I don't play the game,
Look at all that
so.
space you're taking up. Oh, I'm a happy memory. I take.
Sorry, we're doing bleak now. No happy memories.
HeroClix, HeroClix. Back in the corner, HeroClix. Oh man. Um. So I don't even know how to ask this question in a way that's safe to ask this question.
I
What
love it already.
now that Necromancer is out?
Yeah,
It's the first card game that Kobold has done,
yeah,
and I
yeah.
know sales and public reaction. Are you guys even talking about doing more?
Oh yes. Oh golly, yes. Um, uh, I don't have anything to report, but we anticipate that Necromancer will um, will do nicely, and that we will want to follow up. Um, um,
Well, I guess that also leads to the question we talked about beforehand. Have you heard about how it's doing at Gen Con? Does it release at
I
Gen Con?
have, I have. I've heard that it is selling briskly. Wolfgang Bauer, the CEO of the company, um, um, slacked me just to let me know last night that he expected, based on sales, to for them to be sold out by Sunday. And I was fantastic. Wow, that's great.
Yeah.
Um, so if you're at Gen Con and you're watching us for some reason, you're tired of enjoying the best 4 days in gaming, and you're tuning into a stream on the web. You should make sure you get to the booth. Um,
1649 is the booth.
I was just gonna go looking for it. Booth 1649. Uh, you got my back, man. Thanks. And get your copy, because apparently they're going fast.
And there is a promo card you can pick up for free while supplies last. Though I'm
While
told that
supplies
supplies are going to
last.
last. Uh,
Probably so. I don't know. Maybe not.
uh,
I hope I get one, but
Me too. That photo I posted before, that's as close as I've gotten to the game. But I imagine that I'll be having lunch with Wolfgang sometime in the next few weeks, and that he might have one for me. Maybe I don't know.
He might. He might at that. He might,
I
Rabbit.
might,
He might.
Rabbit. You might. So one of the things Michael in chat asks about is whether there's any thought about doing expansion so that the game can be played with more players.
Yeah, maybe. So what I would have to figure out how to do, and this is certainly not unsolvable, but at that point, you're kind of in party game numbers, right? And so you need to figure out either a way for people to team up or to play simultaneously, or for some, like, whenever there are up to 6 players, it's not too big an ask for the rules to say, wait your turn. But
Right.
when there are 8 to 12 players, that's a long time to just watch other people take their turns. And so you need some way to keep everybody busy. And this game doesn't even try to solve for that, but it could, I guess. I mean, we're very likely going to do some kind of follow-on product, and it might be fun to make it. I don't know. That would change the game pretty drastically. Like, I feel like I haven't even thought about it, and now I'm thinking about it.
Right. If people were supernaturally patient, if people
Uh-huh.
and this problem of you're asking too long to play mechanically, if you just increased the doubled the deck and gave people,
Yeah, sure.
you know,
I mean,
but
the game doesn't break. Yeah,
right,
yeah. You can play it, but you might want to play another game at the same time. You could
you
have 2
know.
games of Necromancer going on. Wouldn't that be fun?
So all we really need is to like 4 more characters for you to play, so people aren't doubling up on characters.
Right.
And I say all. I understand that was a that's not a real thing. That's an interview question.
Why aren't you done yet, Jeff? It's so simple.
All we need to do is why hasn't that happened yet? And then I don't know if you just use 2 decks, would that be problematic? Would you need? It would, of course, it'd be great to add new cards, right? All the cards that you didn't get to do that you wanted to. But
Yeah, yeah. I can imagine that there might be, like, there are some cards that there's only one of in the deck, and they sort of have a uniqueness to them that is meaningful.
right,
Um, and if you suddenly had 2 of those, it would probably be fine. But if both of them showed up at the same time, um, you know,
I'm reading the
you might
chat.
need
I'm reading the chat ahead of time and feeling.
you might need some kind of resolution mechanic that is outside the current rules of the game.
So, Agile Monk says, by the way, no offense, Matt, but I think you've had the same haircut for all the years I've known you. And it's well, you know what? You got something that works. Why mess with it?
Yeah,
The
you
beard
know,
has changed over time. I've had times without it and times with fullish beard and tightly along the chin. I spent a very long time, an embarrassing long time in my 20s with just a mustache. That I don't know why I didn't see what other people told me. And I didn't listen. I was walking around with a porn stash, but what are you going to do? But yes, but it works. I can wear it straight down, or I can push it to the side. Pushing it to the side is something that's happened in the last few years. And there was a point where I grew it very long. Like I didn't cut my hair for 4 years, and that I got that out of my system. Um, but yeah, you're right. Same
Kyle
haircut, but what do you
Kyle
think?
Hunter. I don't know if anybody remembers Kyle Hunter, but he
I
was my art director when I worked on the Star Wars magazines, and he did the Downer
mm-hmm.
comic strip for Paizo, and I adore his art, and I just like him personally, just a super fun guy. And um, I remember one time he accused me of just having men's haircut number two, and because
What?
Kyle was always like doing something with his hair, right? He he, he certainly spent a significant fraction of his salary on hair product. Um, but sort of like you're saying, Stan, it was like, I don't know, it works. I mean, I don't have to think about it very hard. I like that.
My hair also, although I do not have a shortage of hair, though it's getting worse if you look at it from that angle. Um, but it doesn't take to styling well.
Hmm.
My hair will just flop back down, and so anytime I ever tried anything, that broke me out of it. I'm not willing to take the time and effort and product it would take to sculpt my hair into something that would stay. So I just say, all right, this is what you want to do. This is what it is. All right, that's what we got. Michael says, no, no, my beard has never been as wonderfully sculpted as Jeff's, mainly because I tried at one point, but I just don't like it. The thickness that you need to be able to do anything with it. I trim it really short, and I like the pencil thin uh, on mustache part of it.
Mhm.
Um, I would I went I got rid of my beard for a while when I started going gray, because I went gray along this arc of
Oh,
my beard,
trouble.
and it
Yeah,
started
yeah, yeah,
scrolling, and it just looked ridiculous. Like
yeah.
still have a little bit of the Reed Richards. It's darker up here than it is here. It's all gray now. I don't kid myself. But when I started going gray there, and this was still more auburn reddish, that looked pretty cool. But I can't fight it. My hair does what it wants.
Yeah, I cut my own hair these days because I just got so frustrated with other people. But I've had uh, hair cutters like just sort of like look at my head and like, oh, your hair grows weird. What am I supposed to do with this? And I'm like, man, you're the professional. I came here for you to solve a problem. And they're like, well, this is the best I can do because your hair grows weird. And I was
Looks
like, if we're down to just the best I can do, I can do that. So I just sort of learned how to cut my own hair and was and I'm wearing a hat right now. You'll just have to trust me on this one. But
I
I
think
have, yeah.
Michael's talking about me when he says my hair looks blonde now. It's
It does.
it weird, right? You've known me a long time. My hair has never been
That's
blonde.
not my memory of you. Yeah, you don't, yeah.
No, I had like very reddish auburn hair in my youth. It got more brown. Now it's gone to kind of a flat brown because of the gray coming in, which is giving it that kind of blonde. When I when I was in college, one of my friends said the thing they liked best about me was that I had three different colors of hair on my face. So I had
Huh.
auburn hair up here, and my beard was red, was orange red. I had a red beard, and
Hmm.
my eyebrows were white. For the longest time, I just had white
Huh.
eyebrows, and the thing that I don't like, I'm losing color here. My eyebrows have gotten color over the years. It's like, don't pump it out back up there. I don't. Um, It's earlier. I also asked how much did I enjoy doing the illustrations for the card game, and the answer is I enjoyed it a hell of a lot. I loved it. It was great, and I hope that the people love this so much that I get to do the card illustrations for the next game, and games and more.
I've got an inside line on. I think I can probably snag you the job for any
You know
follow-ups
what
that we do.
I've talked to several people about it, and I know more than I say here. But that's what I say publicly. Is I hope. You know how this
Right.
goes.
Yeah. Yeah, I've never learned to do that. I just sort of say what I think, and then later on someone tells me, "Jeff, don't say what you think." And I'm like, "Oh, right. Right."
And that's why you'll never be me.
That's why I study at your feet, master. Senpai.
Oh God. No, 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 no. I also for Kobold last year I did the uh, uh,
Yeah,
advent
you did our
calendar
our
thing,
Advent
basically.
year calendar. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I've already talked with Wolf a couple of times about that. It seems likely that I will be involved in something along those lines if they move forward with doing it. Um, so I guess I can't say any more than I had a lot of fun doing it. They liked it, and we've talked about what might happen. No promises.
You know, Stan, what I like about the people who come to you to chat at your streams is that they all seem like they would be excellent interviewers. They just sort of throw questions out, and I'm like, You should, you should do something else with these skills. You should go interview people.
No, you should keep
You're
coming
asking
to
good
my
questions."
feed. Let me do it. So, did you see another one that made you?
Well, Michael Michelin chat says when doing the art, were the art orders very specific, or did you get to interpret them based on what they do?
Both, right? I mean, some of them you very specifically said I want a this, and some of them it was like I don't know something like this. Here's what the card does. I have no idea. I have no idea. It was a wide range.
Yeah,
You definitely had thoughts on how you wanted some things to look, and particularly if they were going to show up on multiple cards.
yeah,
And
that's right.
um, there were some cards where you knew you definitely wanted a specific thing. So it was a good wide range, which is a lot of fun. I mean, it's sometimes it's the most frustrating thing is I don't know. Give me a thing. Like,
Yeah.
duh.
So let me ask, because I've written a bunch of art orders in my career, and I've always been told, um, don't don't over detail your art orders because artists want room to make up their own stuff. But I've also heard that there are artists who just want to be told what to do, right? They're just sort of more workmen, and if you tell them what to draw, they'll draw it. If you make them interpret, then they're not as comfortable with that.
Yeah.
Which of those there are only two choices. Which of those two are you? Would you rather be given more direction, or would you rather be left to interpret more?
Um,
This is not entirely theoretical.
uh, well, I mean, like I said, in this, I like the mix of it. I like
Yeah,
sometimes doing a bit of each. I think the key for writing art orders and not putting too much detail in really is about understanding what the minimum level of detail, the things that are absolutely needed, you should put in there,
yeah,
and the things that are like this gives the feeling of what I'm thinking about should be pared out as much as possible to a sentence that says it should feel like blah. Um, there was, you know what? Let me grab my iPad here,
I will.
and
I'll allow it.
thank you, thank you. And if I come, I know you can't see what I'm doing yet.
No, but I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited about it.
If I come over here and hit this button, this is my Necromancer file. These are the
Hmm.
and some other things, right? Yeah,
I'm
it's
I'm
all
gonna lean in, but try to stay on camera. Yeah.
um. So uh, things like I I don't know. This was the curse, the mummy's curse. Getting that one right, right?
I think
Describing
we took a couple of swings at that one.
right,
Yeah.
um, which is fine, right? The difference was how the feeling, the message that you wanted the piece to say.
Yeah.
That I got, I missed a little. I was just a little out, just a bit outside. Um, and we came back and we got it right. On the other hand,
Yep.
this one was like, I want one of these knives.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you know what? I thought you did a really good job of delivering one of these knives.
Yeah.
Um, I knew when I wrote that art order, I was like, this is not giving him a lot to go on.
Right.
But
But the thing is, it's important that this one tell the story you want to tell.
yeah,
And if you tried to tell that much story with this one, it wouldn't have been important. All you needed was the
yeah,
knife. So
yeah,
that's what you said.
yeah.
The other interesting series, the ones where there were three of the same character.
Yeah, you know, when we were talking about that earlier, especially the recruiter, I laughed. I laughed out loud at what you did for the recruiter guy. He was so funny.
But these
Like,
were
and
all. But you said these. I didn't
these
make
were,
any of
yeah,
these
so
up.
these were all gags that I handed you.
Right.
Um, but the way you delivered it, I just thought was just spot on.
Yeah. Well, again, that's where if you tell me what you want, I can
That
find a
guy,
way
I
to.
love that guy. I mean, I was doing, and I think it's pretty obvious with the personality test. I was doing a little bit of a Scientology thing with it.
Right.
Um, but then by the time we get to the top level guy, right? He's a car salesman. He's I'm pretty sure that you changed it to free ale because I put free beer on it and you changed it to ale and that's funnier. Yeah, free
Probably.
ale.
Yeah. But I did it in the sketch, so I could have changed it back.
No, when I saw ale, I was like, oh, that's better.
Yeah.
No, that's better.
But you talked about those wobbly guys, and the other
Yeah.
thing that's in general, designers and writers who do art orders think in terms of scenes, and
Hmm.
artists think in terms of moments within the scene.
Mm.
And so the more an
Hmm.
art order describes an arc of what happens in this
Yeah.
scene, the more the artist goes, uh,
Right.
I
Right.
need a snapshot.
I'm only drawing one picture. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I understand, having been there, okay, I will then probably shoot back a very quick sketch or just a question saying, I, I want to show this part of the scene. Right? Maybe someone comes in the door, walks across, knocks a glass off the thing, and then pets the cat. I'm going to want to draw him petting the cat. And then you say, oh, actually, knocking the glass off is a very important part. We've got to get that in there. And we
Yeah.
do make that work.
Well, generally, when you're doing this, you want to capture the moment either before the action or right after the action, right? You either want the viewer to understand what's about to happen, and so the picture kind of like sets it up, and then you get to that's gonna hit real
Right.
hard, right? Uh, or you want the characters in the image to be reacting to what just happened because that
Right.
again, that tells a little bit of a story too, because the viewer kind of fills in. Oh, this just happened, and this is woohoo! This guy's surprised, and this guy's laughing, and this guy's sad,
Yeah.
and And apparently someone decided to put 3 figures in this image. You fool.
Yeah, I'm thinking about that one I just described, and if just make it so he knocks over a glass.
All right, peace out, Agile Monk. Bye, so long.
Bye, Agile Monk. Thank
Thanks
you
for
for
coming.
tuning in. Good to see you. Um, if the spilling of the water had a reaction, like and tentacles grow out of where it fell. Right now, you've got three. You can have him knocking it over. You can have him petting the
Right.
cat. You can have the tentacles, and finding which parts are. We don't need to see that he knocked it over. Okay, that's out of the him bumping into his elbow. Not going to be in this drawing, but it could be about him petting the cat and the tentacles are in the background, or it could be the tentacles growing and he's petting the cat in the background. And you play around with it.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, there's definitely in a lot of what you're describing in a lot of scenes, there's an optimal moment
yeah,
to try to depict. Um, oh, the ritual
he's so
guy. He was
happy. The thing I like about
well,
this
yeah.
is, and I think you
I
said the
didn't
same
tell you
thing.
to do this, and you added this, and it was so good. Yeah, like the first guy, he's really happy to be there, and the second guy, he's clearly moved up in his skill, but he's being a occultist has kind of taken a toll on him, and then the third guy, man, he just hates his life, right? It's the same guy throughout his career, right? And somewhere along the way, he lost an eye, and he just, man, he is done with this shit. But
I'm
he can
this
sure
is it.
cast a
I'm
ritual.
summoning this and I'm done.
I'm too old for this shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy, I really like is the progression that it tells about his story. I didn't say make him less happy, but if I had thought it, I would have. Yeah,
But
no, that was
you
great.
did say he's more beat up, and I mean you did say something about he,
Yeah,
yeah, show the wear and tear. I'm like, all right, well.
yeah.
And then she stays happy her whole career. She's happy in her job, taking care of the the relics.
She's, she stays. Yeah. By the way, I'm not saying nothing, but I suspect that a three-eyed skull will appear again if we do a future product. I don't know why three-eyed skulls are so interesting to me, but um, I've already I've already got that one written.
Yeah. So the question of do I do these about quarter size? I do them in square? I do a lot of my work in square. I don't know why. Square format just works well for this kind of thing for me. It keeps me from like it it keeps me remembering to fill the space um, as much as possible. But these are all 4x4 inch originals. It's digital, so you it really wouldn't matter. It would just change what size I set the brush at. But
But well, I mean, if you start at 4x4, though, I mean that's quarter page.
yeah,
But then you just have to make sure it reads at 1x1.
right. Yeah,
Flesh
I
Mob, that's a good
I,
one.
I like this guy.
That guy, I like that guy too. Yeah, yeah. Once again, a bunch of skulls with one of which has a number of eyes. Well, a couple, don't they? There's one that looks like it has tusks and 5 eyes. Maybe those are just other holes, though.
I don't know.
Only the bone collector
Yeah,
knows.
which one were you saying?
I was going to say Dead Man Switch. So the Dead Man Switch uh, is one that we all love. The joke just came sailing through, and when we talk about merch, we throw around lots of different ideas, but this one always bubbles up to the top. Like when/if there are T-shirts, I'm pretty sure the Dead Man Switch is gonna make an appearance. Um, right up until Nintendo says
Don't
you
do
got
it.
to stop doing that.
Stop showing our plumber. There's some of these the dead man switch pun. I love showing that to people because they don't they despite it being there, they don't guess it. What's this? What do you think this one is? I don't need Nintendo's skeleton. Dead man switch. Oh.
Oh, embiggen Sly Minion over there. I like that joke too.
What? What?
I think he's Sly Minion, two to the right of Dead Man Switch.
Oh yeah.
That cracks me up. That he slapped a "Turn Me" sign on the back of a zombie, like that's his little joke. One thing that I didn't tell you to do again, that you just sort of took and did, and I really enjoyed, is you made that guy a drow, and that wasn't in the art order, but he just came back a drow, and I was like, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah,
Well, I was
he's
trying to be purposeful about not having them all just be pink-skinned male.
oh no, I'm out. I got lost.
You got lost in what? Are you back?
I'm back. I think I'm back. I can hear
Okay,
you
good.
anyway.
You didn't disappear here. We were all laughing at you.
Oh.
Yeah, you're like, I'm out. I can't talk. No, you're not.
I was looking at myself with my eyes closed.
Haha. I was saying I tried to make a point to get a wider range than just you know old white guys. And I look at it and I still think there's one of the things that I look at and I think I could have done a better job.
It's all frozen again.
I could have been more inclusive in the characters, but I certainly putting in the drow and oh now you're frozen. You are frozen. I hate when that happens. So I'll just vamp here, hoping that Jeff will come back in. Look at some other things. It's a good frozen face, though. I mean, it's not like yesterday when Dustin had his F face on, but um, Jeff sure looks like he's concentrating on something there. He's got something to say, and we don't know what it is. Let's see. The other one on top of the Dead Man Switch, the pun that I love is Team Spirit. Team Spirit. No one ever guesses that one. Cracks me up. And I like the look on the Necromancer's face. He has had enough of that ghost. All right, Jeff has now officially disappeared, and it says I'm offline again. It's weird. My system tells me I'm offline, and yet it also tells me that 7 people are watching me. So, mer. Let's see if Jeff calls back in a second. Or if I'll just be vamping for a bit and then ending the chat. We've been going for an hour and a half. This has been a fun little seminar. Yeah. So Michael asks, do I do them at a higher DPI as dots per inch or pixels per inch? And I do them at 300 DPI, which 4x4 at 300 DPI. So actually, you could blow them up bigger than that, and they'd still be pretty good. But I don't make them. I don't make the DPI too hard, too large, because then it gets easier for me to put in too much detail. And again, Jeff was talking about the fact that you have to particularly when you're working oversized or working digitally, that you remember what it's going to look like when it's shrunk down. And there's a tendency to put in extra details if you can, because it's just fun. But then you zoom out and you see, well, shrink down and no one's going to be able to read any of that. And if I did these at 500 DPI, I would be tempted to put a lot of extra detail in. So 300 DPI is good enough. It's good for the printing, and it keeps me detail-wise at the right level. All right. Well, I'll come back, even though he's not here. I'll pull up his square and hope he comes back. Maybe he's rebooting his machine. But yeah, this is even if he doesn't come, this has been a fun seminar. Good Gen Con. I know not as good as being in an Indy and hanging out with friends, but hanging out online with friends, I like that too. Michael says your star works well for card-size images. I would imagine. Yes, but again, I do sometimes have a tendency to want to add an extra detail in when I'm zoomed in. You see that on the Thursday night show sometimes when I zoom in and I get going on a detail that is just more than is appropriate for what the finished piece is supposed to be. So yeah, I've always one of the magic tricks that once you start getting into doing art, and you have access to. I mean, everyone has access to it these days. But when I was getting started, having access to a photocopy machine which would reduce your pieces, I was always just fascinated and delighted by how well my pieces held up. My art style held up when reduced smaller and smaller. And I would, I remember a couple of pieces that I just went and I made it half as big and half as big again. And I got down to these tiny little reprints that you could still look at and see what I had intended you to see, and how delightful I thought that was. And what a good boy I was for having done that. Oh, wait a second. Jeff seems to have sent me a text message on my phone. I'm going to tell him. So you guys know, I'm going to tell him I'll vamp for a few minutes. If you can't get back, I'll tell the audience that you hate them. Isn't this makes good for this is a good video, right? Me typing on my phone and not even looking up. All right. Well, there's another day left at Gen Con. If you are there, if you're watching this, if you're in Indy now and you're watching this, well, hopefully it's while you're trying to go to sleep tonight. You're not skipping out on some fun thing to watch this live. But if you're there, go to the Kobold Press booth and check it out. It's a 1649, and they have copies of Necromancer there. They've got a free bonus card there, and all sorts of fun stuff. If not, go to the Kobold Press website, and you can order a copy there. As Jeff said, we think they're going to ship maybe starting next week. And if you don't want to do that, just go to your friendly local game store and ask them to get it in. The Kobold, the Necromancer game is here. We've seen the picture. We've seen people playing it. It's going to be in stores, And the more people talk about it and the more people order it, the higher the chances are that we will do either a follow up to that game or another game in a similar style or both. And all of that sounds great to me. I very much had a terrific time working on the game, and I look forward to doing more things with my good buddy Jeff and my other friends at Kobold. You can let me see what I got here. I have a you can go to koboldpress.com/blog to find. Hold on. Jeff Quick is back. Jeff Quick is back. And he froze again. He froze again immediately. That's bad. Jeff Quick is back. Jeff Quick is gone. Oh, internet. How dare you? What can I do here to help with this?
Okay, all right, let's try this.
Oh, hey, there you are. There you are. All right. I also I stopped sharing stuff from my iPad, which might have eaten up memory. Doesn't usually, but sometimes it does. Anyway, you're back. I was just vamping out. I vamped and vamped and vamped. I'm like, all right, well, I guess we're done. And Jeff came back. So we can call. Let's start doing our outro. We've been going for an hour and a half. No, Gen Con seminars are only an hour, so this is like the bonus size.
You got an extra half seminar out of us.
So one of the things that Jeff and I both enjoy and enjoyed watching on TV when it aired was Dr. Katz. Dr. Katz licensed therapist show. And one of my favorite, and so they had musical.
The best work Roy Romano has ever done, in my opinion.
Oh man,
Ray Romano. Ray Romano.
And Benjamin, what's his name? Who's Archer? Played his son.
Yeah.
Yeah. They had musical cues for each different scene, and at the end, when they were getting ready to end the show, there would be the musical cue. It was a very meta show. My favorite end of any of the episodes was Ben and one of the secretary were having a scene, and the music, and she didn't want to talk to him, which she never did. The music started to play. She's like, "Oh, there goes the music. It's time to go." And he's like, "No, I don't want. I want the extended cut. I want to get no. Oh, the music's playing. We gotta go. Here we go. Oh."
Yep, the music is playing.
Yeah. So yes, I was just suggesting to people, as you can see up, that they go to koboldpress.com/blog to see the stuff that you've got going on there.
That's what I do.
And they can go to koboldpress.com to order the game.
Indeed. There's also a website. It's necromancercardgame.com.
Really?
Yes.
I didn't know about that.
Yeah. necromancercardgame.com.
Huh. Go there. I'm going to go there right after we finish this.
Well, so Board Game Geek is interesting. I mean, we didn't do this just for Board Game Geek, but Board Game Geek, a few months ago, I set up the Necromancer site on Board Game Geek, and you have to submit everything for approval by the mods, and
right.
And they are not shy about denying or kicking things back if they don't like it. And one of the things is that you have to have we don't have to, but you have a link for your game, but they're picky in that they do not want you to, when you make a link for the game, you can't just link to a store or where they can buy it. You have to have a meaningful link, which I really appreciate. Like that continues to make Board Game Geek a useful resource and
Right.
not just an ad space. Um, but so that we could have something there, we had to have a website. We couldn't just uh, we couldn't just go, here, go buy it from our store, suckers. So the website is it's it's lightly informational. I am pretty sure that in 6 months the Board Game Geek page will be more informational than our dedicated page, but it's a nice intro. There's some videos to show you how to play, and there's like an hour-long video of people playing, and they're having a really good time. And um, um, some time ago, 40 minutes ago or something, Michelin Chat had asked, "How exactly do you play?" And I had sort of filed that one away to try to answer later, but you could go to necromancercardgame.com, and there will be some in-depth discussion there about it.
Hey, we've got, according to what I'm looking at, we've got 6 people in the chat, which is not bad after an hour and a half, really. But towards the beginning, you had said something about maybe wanting to give away a thing.
Oh yeah! Oh hey, look at that! We got
So
6 people now.
if anyone is in the chat now, anyone's watching live, uh, type a comment with just one. Put a one in the comment. Leave a comment of one, and then we will randomly determine one of those people to get a nice thing from
I
Jen.
will either send you a Kobold Press product, or I will send you something that I want out of my game room. I
Could be
guarantee it will
anything.
be game related. You will receive it and you will go, "Wow, this is definitely game related," and it will
You know
be
what
up
it
to
won't
you.
be? It won't be the complete HeroClix box.
No, it won't. No, absolutely. I'm not sending you my HeroClix, but it might be some other miniatures, or it might be a small game
David
that
Schwartz says,
I.
"Is New Zealand too far to send something?"
Oh boy. No. I'll say no. I will. I will. Even if I have to pay an exorbitant amount of money, let's do it. David Schwartz, if you win, I will send it to you.
So far,
I
he's
will
not
just
in
make
it.
sure
So far, only the blank Baron is in. Type one. Put a one in the chat. Put a one in the chat, and you can be in on the possibility of getting the door prize, the Kobold door prize. It's like a trap, but it's something fun for you.
it's a trapdoor prize.
um, so yeah, so I was encouraging people also, if they are for some reason at Gen Con and watching this, to go to the Kobold Press booth at 1649 tomorrow, where they can get the game. That seems like a smart thing to do, right?
Man, I'd do it if I was there.
Me too. I'd play demos. They got a nice demo table with excuse me, allergies. Um, they've got a nice demo table with a tablecloth that says Necromancer on it, and that little goblin guy on the side. I kind of want one of those for my house. I don't have a table to put it on, so I guess I don't really do. I say I want one for my house. It's
It makes a lovely wall hanging,
right.
perhaps.
Does it come with a kobold? Metaphorically, 2-dimensionally. Um, so what else? What else you got going on, Jeff? What should people be looking for in the August through fall time?
Sure. Well, we have a book coming up to Kickstarter. It's called the Northlands World Book. It
Mm,
is a lovingly researched uh, campaign setting um, for playing a game in frozen Viking Northlands kind of areas. Um, it is um, it is the right amount of depth. uh, which is to say that there's a lot of good detail, but it's not overwhelming. Like you can, Brian Suskind is our project lead and lead designer the for the book, and he has done uh, an admirable amount of research. So Brian has been working with Kobold Press for as long as there's been a Kobold Press, but as a
Right.
freelancer. Before recently, his day job was a screenwriter, and he's just sort of been a writer for a
That's
long
a
time.
day job?
Yeah, yeah.
You wow.
Uh, and then apparently he left that lucrative job to come work for us full time. Uh, when you make the jump from screenwriting to role playing game writing, you know you've made it.
Wow.
Um, I can't remember. I think he's got a writing credit for like Robot Jocks. You remember that? I think that's
Vaguely.
vaguely, yeah. I might be mistaking it for something else, but he's done, he did some rewrite stuff that you don't really ever get credited for, and but anyway, whatever. So the thing that I have found impressive is that uh, he really did his homework on this book. He found a, a professor at some university in some Nordic country to not just be a cultural or sensitivity reader, but to really advise him on,
Hmm.
this is this is true to the region and to the the history of it, right? Uh, and of course, it's all fantasy, so there are also giants and ice spells and stuff like that, and
Right.
bear people. But um, uh, both sort of culturally and linguistically, he's he's done a real good job of making it feel true, while still also putting in giants and bear people. Um, so I think it's going to be really good. Um, and I would encourage you all to rush to Kickstarter and back it whenever it launches, which I think is going to be next month.
Cool.
Uh, and then Necromancer will be out basically post Gen Con. I think it's in the warehouse already. We just have to start shipping it. And
Yes. If you don't order it straight from them, go to your friendly local game store. Tell them get it in here.
yes, please. Player's Guide 2, which is really good, will be out in January, I think.
Player's
We
Guide to
kickstarted
for.
for Tales of the Valiant role playing game, which is our 5th edition fork. Uh, uh, thanks for that leading question. Um,
Who's got
uh,
your back? I do.
you do, Stan. You do, Senpai. Uh, it's another good. Like I edited it. I edited chunks of it, and I have been impressed with all how crunchy and just full of stuff it is. Um, if you are a Tales of the Valiant player, or if you're a D&D player, but you want a bunch of perfectly good additions to your game, you know, it's the player book you've wanted. There's a bajillion subclasses in there, and uh, some more downtime stuff. Downtime is one of our additions that I think is really strong. Um, of course, a bunch of new spells because these things always come with new spells, and um, uh, I'm blanking on some of the other stuff, but there's just a lot of new player options in there that are quite good. Like I feel like, do I? Sometimes these player option books can be tossed off, and I guess that's what I'm trying to differentiate it from. I don't. It's Kobold has a reputation for making good D&D stuff, and this I feel like is an excellent example of of our oeuvre, right? Of if I can be a little snarky, of
Go ahead.
maybe making the D&D products that Wizards of the Coast should have been making all along. Um, uh, I mean, they have different masters to keep happy than we do. Um, but our sort of main master is the customer and is quality. Like
Right.
we work really hard to make it good. And I look at Player's Guide 2 and I'm like, oh, I think we succeeded. Yeah, no, this is a
Yeah.
good one.
I
Book of
feel like
Blades. Oh, how could I forget Book of Blades? Book of Blades. I was the project lead on Book of Blades. Book of Blades is a bunch of 5e uh, uh, options for your martial characters for your fighter types. That should be coming out. I want to say October. Um, yeah, I I forgot all about that one. I don't know why I forgot. I only spent years of my life making it
now
happen.
you've remembered. You can't remember any more than you've remembered. You've remembered.
All right. Well, I think I'm done remembering now.
All
Thank
right.
you for the opportunity to plug upcoming releases.
I think it's funny. I need to bring up um, the idea of the kind of book that Wizards should have been doing. And there's a conversation that is various forms that have echoed through the last few uh, interview conversational shows that I've had, and and had for a long time too. But the idea of different companies, and you said they've got different masters, they've got different uh, uh, things that have to be achieved in order for it to be a success. And the fact of the matter is that the things that were successes for TSR or even late 1990s Wizards are not good enough. Like that kind
Yeah.
of success will not be a success for Wizards. They need to hit a bar which is up
Yeah.
above it. And so a lot of these things that the audience wants, right? You point out you the audience wants it, but Wizards can't make it anymore because
Yeah.
it just won't be successful for them. And
The
so
scale that they need to succeed at can't do
right.
that product. Yeah.
We need companies like Kobold, like Green Ronin, who
Yeah.
that kind of success is if they can have that success, that's huge, right?
Yeah.
That
Right.
they can succeed, they can have success at even a half a notch or a notch down from that. So it's great. And the reason I particularly pick out Green Ronin and Kobold is they're filled with people who worked at Wizards or TSR in
Mhm.
the past and have the knowledge to produce products like you were describing that aren't just kind of toss up. It's the way it would have been done by that group. They've got the institutional and developmental and just practical creative knowledge to make products at that level.
Right. Right. No, it's a really good point. And I think that's the thing that spawned Tales of the Valiant and Black Flag as which is our sort of SRD, um, uh, was when Wizards overreached a couple of years ago and decided to um, make sure that sort of the tier below them was just kind of you know run out of business. I
Yeah,
mean, like nobody will put it quite that way, but that was what was going to happen, and I'm not sure that it wasn't the point. It's just nobody's going to put it that way. But there's an ecosystem, and we occupy a pretty useful niche for everybody. And if you come through with the herbicide and take us out, you're just
yeah,
hurting your own
yeah.
food chain.
Yeah, no, there's just a lot of people that come in at the higher end of the business side of things at a Wizards or a Hasbro sized company that don't understand that it, uh, they think of the zero sum game like any money that's spent somewhere else is money that's not spent on them. They don't
Right.
understand that you need to have that lush undergrowth for you to
Yeah.
grow.
Yeah. Yeah. And we are not. I mean, listen, I would be very happy if Kobold Press was an actual competition threat
Yeah.
to Wizards of the Coast. But that's not, and frankly, I will work to make that happen. But
Right.
that's not on the 5 to 10 year time scale. Like that's
Right.
just um uh and really at this point, I mean, Wizards, I've said this before, they just sort of abandoned the market and gave it to Paizo, who happily took it. Uh, but
Yeah, you
we
gotta let
thought they
Paizo out
might
of
do
that
that
too.
again. We thought they might do that again, right? With D&D 2024, and I think they might have been on the way to doing that, but they swerved and didn't do that. Um, but it was such a strategic error to allow Paizo to to exist so meaningfully, right? That we were ready to follow that path again, but I didn't actually think it was going to happen, and it
Yeah.
and it didn't happen. Um,
Yeah. Well, I mean, um, what happened there was fell out of the upper management, the business team at WotC Hasbro, n- not understanding how strong the bulwark that the D20 and SRD were when they got laid in, and how
yeah,
you just can't take them out. You can't. Like you can try, you can make it a pain in the ass, and you can succeed in as much as people are afraid to challenge you, uh, but you also don't understand why it's good for you.
yeah, right, right. I mean, that's subtle. Uh, and if you sort of probably other businesses have this too. I don't have an MBA, so I don't know if this is like taught anywhere or discussed. But but it seems pretty clear to me just from my experience in this business that you absolutely need uh, a bunch of
Yeah,
mom and pop kind of people in the garage doing it, and then you need maybe half a dozen Kobold Press Green Ronin sized companies uh, to keep your business going. Like it's weird. I sometimes tongue in cheek refer to Kobold a, a moray company,
right.
um, uh, um, because there's a big whale or a big shark running around, and we just like we're going where you're going, buddy. Um, uh,
And we filter
but
your blood for you.
yeah, well,
Oh,
I mean it. um, it. I mean the appearance of Daggerheart, right? Like uh, I don't know if anybody at Hasbro knows this, but that's actually really good for them. Um, Whenever World of Warcraft showed up, they figured this out pretty quickly. Uh, they don't care if, like, they expect their customers to play for about 9 months and then cycle out, but they'll be back, right? And so they're happy to have other MMOs or other big games kind of give people somewhere to go.
right,
Um, and World of Warcraft isn't the behemoth it was, 15 years ago, but it's still a great business. They've still got 2 million paying subscribers, and it's still doing just fine. Um, I would suggest that they probably have some of that fall off from 12 million down to 2 million is because there aren't a bunch of MMOs anymore keeping keeping the customer base kind of circulating. Um,
right. I could go with that.
I don't know if it's true, but it sounds like I know what I'm talking about, and maybe that's the important part.
Sounds smart.
Yeah, I say it with confidence. I might even be right. I mean,
Wouldn't that be nice? Not necessary, but it'd be nice. All right, so we've got 3 people who put in ones. Last chance to put in a 1 in the comment if you want to be in the drawing for the thing that you don't know what it is. No, you can't win a nicely trimmed goatee. You've got to do
Michael, if
that on
it's
your
you,
own.
I'm going to send you some hair trimmings. You know, if it's from my game room, it's going to come with dog hair one way or another. So I hope that's all right.
Meh. Um, all right. This has been a lot of fun, Jeff. I'm giving just a couple of minutes because I know there's a lag between when I say something and people type. For anyone else, we've got 3 people. We've got Blanket Baron, David Schwartz, and UV Overdrive.
Man, that's a good name. I like that. UV Overdrive. Yeah, man.
Oh, well, our Michelin star is already won something, so he's taking himself out.
Oh,
So
what
it's
a
probably
sweetheart.
he is. He's a good guy. He's a good guy. Like you say, I bring in the best fans.
You do. You do.
All right. So, do you want to roll like a D3 or D simulated D3?
I've never wanted to roll a D3 more in my life.
All right. So 1 is Blanket Baron, 2 is David Schwartz, and 3 is UV Overdrive.
All right. Okay, here we go. I have rolled. Where is it? 3.
A 3.
UV
So it's
Overdrive.
UV Overdrive. UV Overdrive. Where's a good place for them to contact you, Jeff?
You can email me at jeff@koboldpress.com.
Jeff@koboldpress.com. UV Overdrive. Send him an email, and he will get you your not not a lottery door prize. Not at all a lottery in a very legal sense.
Absolutely no.
Completely random.
In the most strict legal sense, this was nothing like a lottery. This was me giving gifts to my good friends, whom I don't know their actual names yet.
My good friend, Mr. Overdrive. All right, Jeff. It, as always, has been a ton of fun hanging out with you for a couple hours and chatting, and I would do it for the rest of the evening, but I think both of us probably ought to take a break.
Yeah, I think that's a solid choice. I imagine people who have to type they need to give their fingers a rest.
Yes, too. Yes. I will try. Hopefully, I'll get you back on a Wednesday show sometime in the not too distant future. We can chat some more, and of course, you and I will be gaming tomorrow, so that'll be fun.
Yeah, that will be. It's already decided. It's pretty much a given.
All right, so hold on. I'll do an outro, and then you and I can.
All right, peace out, everybody. Talk to me, UV.
All right, there we go. Another fun, not a Gen Con interview. Hanging out with Jeff Quick, talking about what was going on at Kobold Press, and in particular about the Necromancer card game. I want to thank everyone who showed up throughout the week. Michael in chat has been here for, I think, every minute of every stream, and so you get a special applause, too. Next week, it'll be back to the regular stuff, which means Wednesday and Thursday. Wednesday night, I'll be here at 6 p.m. Pacific for a new episode of 50 Years in the Dungeon. I'm not sure at this point whether I'll have a new guest or I'll be doing a work in progress, but I'll be doing something. And Thursday will be a new episode of Random Encounters, the improv cartooning show, where you, if you're in the chat room, get to participate and help me figure out what it is I'm going to draw. So come on back. In the meanwhile, whatever platform you're watching this on, please give me a thumbs up. Give it a thumbs up or a heart or a like or whatever it is. And please leave a comment. Leave a comment. I know we've got comments in the chat while we're live. I love that. God, I love that. But it's Super helpful if you just leave even a very brief comment afterwards in the comment on YouTube. And oh yeah, please subscribe. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. It would help me in ways that you can't even imagine. No, you can imagine. It will get more people to join up, and we all want that. So, enjoy the rest of your weekend. Enjoy the rest of your Gen Con. I'll see the rest of you on Wednesday of next week. Till then, take care.